Gotta have that spindrift. No, I'm not sponsored. I just love spindrift. Can't live without it. Hello, Bobby Torres of Frank Box Recording here to tell you all about the only 3 drum mics that you're ever going to need. Now, obviously there are dozens, if not dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of amazing options when it comes to miking up a drum kit, regardless of the style of music. But through my experience, I've learned that there are 3 drum mics that I pretty much can't live without. And also a positive byproduct of this is that these microphones can be used for many different purposes outside of drum recording. So before I reveal to you the 3 microphones that I'm going to tell you about, I want you to know that they are not the cheapest microphones in the world. They're also not the most expensive. All 3 of these are very affordable, but in the long run, you will be saving money in your studio if you're on a tight budget because you could use them for multiple purposes, all 3 of them. The truth is, so many of us spend money on stupid shit. We end up accumulating a bunch of gear that we don't need, when if we just think for a second and do a little bit of research, we can end up saving a lot of money by running a lean, efficient studio that runs off of gear that is multi-purpose and functional. That's the way I like to roll. So with that being said, let's talk about microphone number 1. Right here, we have the Audix D6 large diaphragm dynamic mic. Now, this is a very common microphone that people use on kick drums, and I am no exception. And I like this microphone for a number of different reasons. Number 1, it's small. So if I'm working with a drummer that doesn't want to move their front head, or if there's a small head on the resonant side of the drum, I could get the microphone in without a problem. Some microphones are just a little too big and cumbersome, and they can be annoying to mic up the kick drum, especially in a live situation. I use this microphone on kits in the studio as well as at live shows. Another great thing about this mic is that it is extremely durable. I've dropped this thing, I've had beer spilled on it, still going strong. Now, it's not the cheapest kick drum mic in the world right now. I think it goes for $199 on Sweetwater. But again, I really think it's worth it. It's also great for bass cabs or any other low frequency instrument that you want to capture. So there you have it. All you need is a D6 when it comes to miking up your kick. You don't need a sub kick. You don't need to blend 4 microphones together. This one mic alone is all you need, and it's all I use. All right, let's move on to microphone number 2, and it is the Shure SM81. A small diaphragm condenser microphone. Now, these are amazing for cymbals. They're also great for miking the bottom of a snare, and they're amazing as room microphones as well. I own 4 of them. I use them for live shows. I use them in the studio, and they're also, of course, extremely durable and pretty affordable. Again, not the cheapest small diaphragm condenser in the world, but in my opinion, they are worth the money. I don't know what these go for right now. The prices seem to always fluctuate, but when I bought them, they were around $299 a piece. And I've owned mine for about 12 years. Now, if I had the option of only picking one microphone for cymbals, it would be this because they are extremely directional. And again, they sound great on multiple sources. And you can use them for gang vocals, miking up an acoustic guitar, even miking up a regular guitar amp, miking up strings like a cello or violin. Extremely versatile. So if you're in the market for some cymbal microphones, I highly recommend these. Buy yourself 2, maybe 4, so you have yourself some room mics. And if you're feeling crazy, buy more. And I know from experience, again, that these are extremely durable. I've dropped this about 1,000 times and it's still going strong. So that is the second drum microphone that you need of the 3 that you'll ever need, the Shure SM81. Okay, and finally, the big tamale here, the third of the only 3 microphones that you'll ever need to mic a drum kit, that is the Shure SM57. Now, elitists will scoff at me and say, well, you can't mic a tom with an SM57. Bullshit. The SM57 sounds amazing on snares, snare bottom, toms. I even use them as room mics. You can even use them for a ride mic, miking a China if you don't want a super duper bright sound. Sometimes I want a darker sound for my Chinas, and I mic it with the 57. They're also great for hi-hats if you want to mellow out your hi-hat a little. And of course, an SM57 is also great for vocals. Of course, miking up a guitar amp, bass amps, even a kick drum. Back in college, I did an experiment where I recorded an entire band using only SM57s. For cymbals, bass, guitars, vocals, the entire song was recorded with SM57s, and it sounded great. So again, if you buy multiple SM57s and multiple SM81s and an Audix D6, again, it might seem like a lot of money, but you have to remember how versatile these microphones are. And again, they are multi-purpose and they are going to last you I promise. Most of us know by now that you can pretty much hammer nails with an SM57 and it's still gonna last you. And I'm gonna be honest, most of my drum recordings are done with these 3 microphones. I own 6 SM57s, I own 4 SM81s, and I own a single Audix D6. They get used at live shows, they get used in a studio situation, and everything in between. So there you have it, a straight and to the point video. I just wanted to tell you about these 3 microphones because people ask me about this all of the time. And a lot of times people will ask me about boutique, like condenser microphones and things like that. And of course, all that stuff is great. But if you're on a budget, you wanna think long-term. And again, I know these aren't the cheapest mics in the world, but they can be used for many, many, many different things. And I know from firsthand experience, they can withstand a hell of a lot of abuse. Now, if you're in the market for gear and you're on a tight budget, I have a gift for you. My Frightbox Essential Gear Guide. It lists all of my go-to gear that I use in my studio. I'm all about being efficient and saving money, and all of this gear that's listed in the guide is gear that I actually used and paid for with my own money, and it's all gear and plugins that I highly recommend. Interfaces, microphones, plugins. I even talk a little bit about snakes. Again, the Frightbox Essential Gear Guide is absolutely free right now, and you can have direct access by clicking the link below in this video's description. So I'm curious to know, did you find this video informative? Did you know that you can mic the toms off your drum set with an SM57? Have you even heard of a Shure SM81? Or maybe you think I'm an idiot and that I shouldn't be miking up my drum kit in this fashion. Let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you've been up to in your studio. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to click the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I upload one of my weekly videos on all things metal and rock production. At the end of the day, you know what Alina would say, happy mixing.